Hi, I'm C.C. Péan, and this is Reclaiming Your Health. Good evening, everyone. I am C.C. Péan, and this is Reclaiming Your Health. I'm looking and I'm seeing that I didn't quite get everything out the shot back there, so ignore that. Focus right here. Welcome to Reclaiming Your Health. I am once again excited to have you all here with me. It is Taco Tuesday. Our show always shoots on Tuesday, so I don't know why I haven't done this before. Maybe I have, maybe once. But we're doing Taco Tuesday tonight, and the star of our tacos, I would say the lowly carrot, but I'm not. Carrot. So last week we did something interesting, and I don't know if you all quite caught it, but we had cabbage, and the cabbage took the place of rice or pasta. It wasn't just cabbage. I want you all to be clear on what I was encouraging you to do. When you use the cabbage, I'm encouraging you to season it like you would pasta. So put in your sun-dried tomatoes, put in your oregano, put in your garlic, put in all of those things, and treat it like you would pasta or like a rice pilaf. And that takes the place of that simple carbohydrate. We want complex carbs. Well, tonight we are using carrots instead of meat protein. Typically we would have fish taco or carne asada, some type of beef, or if you were vegetarian, you're using some kind of maybe impossible burger or something like that, even tofu. Tonight we are using carrots. Carrots is something that I have always wanted, but I've recently fallen in love with oven roasting carrots. When you oven roast carrots, there's a sweetness that comes out of the carrots. And you all know, I'm somebody who talks about layers of flavor. I was just talking to Stan about that before we came on tonight. Layers of flavor. So when you slow roast something and you kind of massage it with a little bit of fat, which we're using olive oil and some beautiful spices, you have a completely different experience. So if you see here tonight, I have a bowl of beautiful carrots. They're organic carrots that were still on the stalk, and I left it like this so you could see them. There are others that I purchased. You can go to the store like Sprouts. You could buy a small bag of these carrots. They're usually yellow, orange, and I think purple. So I had some of those left over, but then I went out and I got some of these. They are organic, which means you don't have to peel them, but I peel them because I think they look a little better. But you don't have to, just so you know. So I think this is going to be a quick evening, but I'm going to get started. The first thing you want to do, as I said, wash your carrots, and then you want to peel them, and then we want to take off this root. Now, some people like it. It kind of will give it a super earthy, organic look, but I'm not in for that with my carrots. So I cut them off. And I'm just going to have a bowl right here. So I'm just going to drop them in my bowl. This is very simple. We are using some tortillas that I made, some cassava flour tortillas. And I'm going to be doing that tutorial again for you next week. It's one that I did very early on, but I'm going to do it again. So you all can see all the different components that go into this dish. But it's super simple, and it's a way to get more nutrition, beta carotene, vitamin A, vitamin K into your diet, and it's delicious. So this is a pretty good size. So I actually am going to cut this in half because we want them to be kind of even in size so that they bake or they roast evenly. Of course, they're not going to all be the same size, so some are going to be more done than others. And also, something else you all know about me is I always talk about texture. I like to have a little bite. I don't like mushy things, so I'm not going to roast mine until they're like mush. I still want a little bit of bite, so that's something you have to also watch out for as you're cooking them. So we have our carrots in a bowl. If you saw the recipe, we are going to use some smoked paprika. We're going to use some onion powder, some garlic powder. I'm actually sneaking a little chipotle in there, just a little bit. Little salt, not too much. Some coriander and some cumin. And that is all going into a little bowl that we're going to mix together. Sure that it's well mixed. And then we have our oil. I said 2 tablespoons of oil. You don't have to use 2 tablespoons. You can use a teaspoon if you want. I'm not going to actually use all of this, but it really depends on the size of your carrots, how many carrots. If you're using a pound of carrots, you may have to use close to a tablespoon. The other thing you can do is you can use spray oil and just like lightly spray it just to get it tacky enough that the spices stick to it. And then you want the oil is also going to transfer the heat as they roast in the ovens. So that's the other reason you want oil. So I've used probably about a tablespoon there, just underneath that. Now I'm going to take my spices. I'm going to sprinkle it over this. You want this well seasoned. Okay, and now I'm just going to massage these and make sure that they're evenly coated with not only the oil, but my spice mixture. And by the way, when you are seasoning your carrots, I'm going with kind of your traditional Mexican type flavors. So I have my cumin and my coriander and my chipotle and stuff like that. But say that you wanted to do like an Italian type of flavor. Again, you could use Italian seasonings on these, the same olive oil. If you wanted to do something Middle Eastern or Mediterranean, you could use sumac and things like that. There's so many great spices out there. You can go anywhere you want to. And they're all delicious on these carrots. Okay, so my carrots are well coated. Now I'm going to take my tray that I have here that I'm lined with aluminum foil. You can also use parchment paper. And we're just going to put them on this tray. One little space. We don't want them bunched up because we don't want this to steam. We want them to cook but get a little crispy if possible. So we don't want them all up on each other. Okay. So that, my people, my friends, my watchers, my followers, is the first part. And I'm going to put this in the oven. I'll be right back. Our oven is at 400 degrees. I'll be right back. So that's in the oven, 400 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes. You know your oven. Some of you may not need that long. Some of you may want your carrots, as I was saying earlier, really well cooked. And so you're going to keep it in there longer. So let's talk a little bit about carrots. What is so great about carrots? I have some cheat notes here, but it's great for so many things. Carrots are great for eye health. The vitamin A, the vitamin K. It fights against macular degeneration. It's great for bone health. It's great for blood pressure and cardiovascular health, immune functioning and healing. It fights against some types of cancer. One of the things that we talk about with reclaiming your health is that you literally can heal your body by the foods that you eat. Let food be thy medicine is something that you've said numerous times. And this is an example of a delicious meal that is completely plant-based. Now, there are different types of diets. There's vegan diets, there's plant-based. When I say plant-based, it's used interchangeably, but plant-based, in my understanding, means that your diet is overwhelmingly plants and fruits and vegetables, whereas vegan it is completely. So this dish is actually vegan, 100% vegan. And it is delicious because we have all these different things going on that are antioxidants, and they've got vitamins, and they've got calcium, and all these different things that you're fighting against, you're strengthening your body, and it tastes good. What's better than that? So there's two ways we can do this. I love guacamole. I'm a California girl. I grew up with Hass avocados. I can eat avocado, just really sprinkle salt on it and I'm happy. Some people like them, some don't. I'm going to do two things. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to make a guacamole, a simple guacamole. And so you all can see how to do this. Guacamole is a super simple condiment, and sometimes people mess it up because they try to do too much. I'm going to show you how I do mine. Just some ripe avocado. There we go. And people have always asked me, like, how do you know avocado is perfect? Avocado is one of those things that, like, one day it's perfect and the next day you have to throw it out. I always tell people, if you feel like the back of your ear, you press just like the back of your ear, there's kind of like it kind of gives a little bit, it's not completely soft, but that cartilage is in there. That's what you want to feel, that type of, when you put pressure on your avocado, you want it to give just a little bit. The other thing you can do when purchasing an avocado is this seed right here that will not the seed, like the root. Pop that off and you look inside. If it's like a bright green, I don't know if you can see it. If it's a bright green, it's ready. That's how you know. If you pop it off and it's dark and brown, do not buy it. It's already going to spoil. So that's a cheat. So we've got our avocado here. To this avocado, I'm going to add a little bit of red onion. Just a little bit. I'm basically making like avocado for one. Yes, an entire avocado makes guacamole for one for me. I'm just going to mince some red onion here. Drop it in our dish. I don't know if anybody is watching tonight. Last week we had two winners. Renee Fentress Stevenson was one of our winners, as well as Phyllis Jeter. I never heard from Phyllis. So I heard from Renee and he sent off her gift that she won. But this week we have two bottles of my maple jerk. Now it is renamed glaze and not syrup. I have the original and I have the extra spicy. So these are going to be given away tonight. I'm going to ask you a question in a little bit. And we're going to see who has been paying attention and following along. So we've got some jalapeno going in there. Just a little bit. Cut up some tomato. Little tomato. right in there. Other half. The thing about tacos for me is so often tacos are actually about like the toppings, the fixings. The meat portion of it is important, but I think what makes tacos so delicious are all the fixings. So I like to make sure that my fixings are on point. I don't want to ruin it. The yucky fixings. Okay, so we've got our tomato, we've got our jalapeno, we've got our onion. Now we're going to put a little bit of cilantro in here. There are people that don't like cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, you don't have to use it. You can just opt out. But it is a great component. And we're going to kind of mince this, finely chop this. We don't want big chunks of cilantro. And our guacamole. So here is my first question for the night. Early on, I made a Popeyes chicken sandwich using a particular type of mushroom. I want to know what that mushroom was and what in particular that mushroom is known for. There's a particular thing that it does for your body, a particular part of your body that it addresses the nutrition from it addresses the needs of this particular function in your body. So what was the mushroom and what does it address? So our cilantro is in there. Right. Next thing we're going to do is put a little lime juice. Just a squeeze of lime juice for some brightness. Then my secret ingredient is some, yes, lion's mane was the mushroom. What in particular does lion's mane address? Just a little bit of cilantro. This is a secret ingredient. I don't know if a lot of people know about that, if they use it. And just a touch of salt. But cilantro takes your guac to the next level. And I like to use anxiety, depression, and heart disease. Those are great answers, but there's a particular organ that lion's mane addresses. I like to use my potato masher actually to make my guacamole. And those carrots smell so good in the oven. Our guacamole is done. I don't know what's going on with my forward camera, but it's shut off, so I'm gonna get back over there. Okay, our guacamole is done. Let me just taste it to make sure it doesn't need anything. Do a little bit of cleaning up. And we've got not too much longer. Let's see what's going on here. That is so weird. Can you see me? Melissa, I'm seeing your answer. That answer is incorrect. Not the heart. Trying to figure out what's going on with my. Okay, I'm coming back. Sorry, folks. I don't know what happened. But we are coming back on. That's really weird. Okay, we're back. That was weird. Okay. Okay. All right, so we've got our guacamole done, and I'm still waiting for the correct answer. So I'm also going to cut some slices, because you know I always talk about food tasting good and looking good. So I want to give you all a few options. The brain, excellent. You are correct, Melissa. So Melissa, you have a choice between either the original maple jerk glaze or the extra spicy one. So I'm just going to cut up a little bit of avocado for our plating. Okay. And so my next question is, who can tell me where I am from? Who can tell me where I am from and what my heritage is? Where am I from? Where was I born and raised? And what is my heritage? Something I speak about quite often. All right, so now we're going to get ready to play. I thought we would do something different today. Those carrots are still roasting, but I want you to see that this is what the carrots will look like when they're done. So they've got a real rustic kind of earthy look to them. There's some crunchy bits on there. Yum. Okay. So we're going to do something a little different and earthy today. I'm going to use this board to plate. Move this out of the way. So let me tell you about these tortillas I'm about to show you. These tortillas are gluten-free. That's the other great thing about tonight's dish. It's gluten-free. These tortillas are homemade. I made these from cassava flour and spinach. And as I said, I'll be showing you all how to make them next week. These are super easy to make. They're flavorful and they're gluten-free. So we're going to put 3 of these on our platter. And we've got our carrots. Actually, let me move this back here. We've got our carrots. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can keep the carrots whole, or you can slice them up. I like to slice them and then kind of mix the colors. I'm slicing my carrots. These are perfectly roasted. And just gonna do a little crisscross there. Now, of course, you can put on as many or as little as you want. One of the things that my husband does not like when I fix things like this is he says I put way too many things on it, so it's kind of hard to eat it. You can also make I cut and laid carrots across the tortilla. we've all got all kinds of things. Cashew cheese. You can also use shredded cheese if you would like. I don't know what's going on. Are you all seeing me? Okay, there's a connection issue going on, but we're not gonna let the devil steal our joy. We're gonna keep on cooking. So now we're gonna begin to layer different things on our tacos. We're gonna put a little cilantro on them. Got some radish. And this is the kind of thing that you can make a big platter and put them on the center of your table. They're yummy and they're beautiful. Got some pickled onion we're gonna put on them. And this pickled onion is very easy to make. It's literally just some lime juice, some fresh lime juice, a little bit of salt. You massage it. I have my cashew cheese. I'm gonna put on this. I'm just gonna do a little cashew cheese across the top of them. You can also like crumble some cheese if you wanted to. I'm gonna put avocado slices on the two at the end. The one in the center, I'm gonna use my guacamole. Go right on top. Got some peppers. I slice, again, optional. I slice these super thin though, so they're not gonna have that much bang of heat. More radishes on top of this. And we're gonna sprinkle some pumpkin seeds on them. Give it a nice crunch in addition to the radish. The great thing about radish is that it's good for digestive health. They can smell a little funky sometimes, but the benefits outweigh the funk, I like to think. Has anybody answered where I am from and what my heritage is? I'm curious if anybody knows. Who's watching tonight? Can we get a roll call? Okay, Melissa, you can't win twice. You can't win twice. You are correct. So now I have to do another question. So I was born and raised in San Francisco, California. I have actually known Stan Mackey, the producer and I guess the founder of the Reclamation Project, since about knee-high. Camp meeting at SoCal, I think, is when I first met him. So we go way back. I am a California girl through and through, and my heritage is Guyanese and Liberian. So we have our carrot tacos here. They are plated. We have them on this nice little wood board. And there you go. Look at that. Carrot tacos. Oven roasted carrots. We've got a cassava and spinach tortilla, homemade. We've got guacamole and radish and pickled onions and cashew cheese and all kinds of yummy stuff on there. 100% plant-based, 100% vegan. Taco Tuesday fabulousness. So everyone, thank you for joining me. Sorry about the cutout. Something was going on with our connection tonight. But the recipe is online, so you can check that out. And The video will be available as soon as this ends tonight. And then next week, we are going to be remaking our tortillas. We're going to be making cassava spinach tortillas, gluten-free, delicious, super soft. They're super soft and doughy, and they wrap around things and they melt in your mouth and they're so good. So we'll be making those next week. But for now, thank you for joining us on Reclaiming Your Health. Bye-bye.